Hello, everybody. Let me know where you're from and who's watching here today. I've got a lot of things planned. Before we go crazy, though, let's talk about this awesome tug toy that I want to give away today. It's got little recolors branding on it. How cute is that? And I have never seen one of these green little balls. I think that's so cute. Anyway, I'm going to give away a tug toy. All you have to do is share that I'm live. And I promise I do have something I always have something super important to talk about. But I want to talk about a number of things today. Yes, we will talk about our cyber event that's closing tonight at midnight. But I have other things I want to talk about. But first, before we begin, I want to give away this because last time I forgot to give one away right at the beginning. So all you have to do is share this live anywhere on social media, Facebook, Instagram, I don't know, wherever. There's lots of other social media outlets. And say Susan's live, dog training. Actually, we're doing a little bit of mindset today. And then come on back and write in the comments that you shared it and where you shared it. And the team is going to go through at the end of today's live, and we're giving away this tug toy. Big thanks to the folks at For My Merles. Okay, so we're going to talk about getting stuck. And I have a question for you. Where do you commonly feel stuck with your dog at the moment? So we're going to talk about getting stuck. I've got a list of questions that have been sent in to us, several pages of them actually, that I'm going to answer. And I'm going to be here to answer questions. Oh, I forgot to put this light on. Answer questions about our online programs. So let me know, where do you feel most stuck? Now, I know when I think about my early journey as a dog trainer, I always felt like, why am I not doing the training I know I should? Why am I not putting in those reps? And it reminded me of this quote that I remember reading, and it was, and I've shared this quote before in my communities, and it goes something like this: champions in any field of life do the things that other people find boring or uncomfortable. And I remember thinking to myself, well, then I don't know that I'd ever be a champion at anything, because I don't think I would ever do anything repetitively, like daily, that I personally would find boring or uncomfortable. And I remember being I was teaching a seminar in California, and there was a man who'd won, I think he won 3 Olympic gold medals in the sport of diving. And we ended up, his name is Greg Louganis. He won these medals for the US team. And I remember Greg and I got to be quite good friends, but still are very good friends. And I remember asking him, hey, you've won gold medals he's won more than 4. He's won 1 silver and 5 gold, I think. I could be wrong. I don't know. No, one of the Olympics were canceled. A US boycotted it. Regardless, I said to him, as a champion, he won the US championship like a quadrillion times. I said, do you believe this quote? And he said, nah, I don't think I do. And I said, here's how it works for me. I say, champions in any field do the things that other people find boring, and take the things that other people find boring and uncomfortable and turn them into a game they'd want to play with themselves every day. There's a reason I go to the gym every single day, and I do some form of fitness at least, I would say, a minimum of 2 to 5 times a day. So I get up in the morning and I do this quick little, it's a 30-minute little mobility activation. It's a lot of jumping around for 30 minutes. And then I, go about my daily routine, and somewhere around 8 o'clock. So I get up around, this morning it was 4:45. I get up whenever my body says, let's get up. So this morning it was 4:45. And then at 8 o'clock, somewhere between 8 and 10, I go back into the gym and I do a proper workout. And then somewhere in the afternoon, I jump on the treadmill and I'll do some cardio, or I'll do some other form of cardio. And then I walk the dogs, of course. So I do this because I can make it into a game. So when you're stuck, I don't think doing the things you think you should do will ever get you unstuck. That's just my opinion. And maybe you will do those things like once or twice, and then you feel guilty about not doing them because somebody probably has guilted you. You're never going to improve your dog training unless you do this. So I love that some of you guys are sharing your answers. So start line, Lindsay, I know this doesn't help you, but it is my favorite thing to fix is start lines. And honestly, it's one of the things that I'm most proud of in my dog's agility careers, right? It's the last dog that broke a start line on me was in 1994, was one of my Jack Russell Terriers. So start line, loose leash walking. That's a great one because we have a brand new program on teaching loose leash walking, Kathy. It's called jaywalking. I'll tell you more about that later. So Corinna says, perhaps when I'm unsure of when I should go forward in my training, like when to take the next step. Yeah, it's easy to get stuck there, especially because, you know, especially when you have a puppy or a young dog. And it's not like we get puppies or young dogs every day of the week. Imagine how many puppies that would be. Because this is my puppy that I want to do things right. And so if you move forward when you shouldn't, maybe you're going to be making a big mistake. And so then that kind of keeps you stuck. So that is definitely a good one. Well, technically, Pamela, we're saying she didn't break the start line because I never saw it happen. She went to say, hey, and came back and was sitting exactly where I left her. So the question becomes, if they don't move forward, is it really breaking the start line? Pamela, this is an easy one to get stuck on: reactivity or loose leash walking. My inability to stick one thing through. So again, it's easy to beat yourself up when you feel you're not doing enough. Let me just share with you this one thing. I've won many gold medals at World Championships. And I've been going to World Championships, although after my husband passed away, there was several years where I did not go to the World Championships. This year was the first year I went back since 2019. So I'm telling you that because I want to tell you there has never been a single World Championship event that I have been at that I haven't at one point or another throughout the weekend said to myself, I wish I'd done more. No matter how much preparation I knew I had done, I always went at some point in the weekend thinking, and it was usually, right around when I was preparing for my first run, man, I should have done more. I should have put in more reps. I should have put in more hours. So I'm telling you that because it's so easy to beat yourself up about not sticking something out, not pushing through. And honestly, so I don't know if you guys saw the reel of me in the gym yesterday that I posted. And honestly, I had no thought that it would get the response that it got. So it was me working out in the gym. And I said to Kim when she came into work this morning, I said, did you see that reel? She said, yeah. And you know what I thought? As I sat on the couch and watched it snow on my Sunday afternoon, I thought, it's just so obvious how her and I are not at all alike. So I have turned being in the gym a game that I love to play. I honestly do not think I would ever go in the gym because I had to or because it was good for me. And so it's easy to beat yourself up because you're not putting in enough reps. Like you're sitting and you're watching Netflix and you know you should be there training your dog. You know it. And then you go down, you start, you might give it a second thought. No, I'm going to watch this movie. And then after the movie's over and it's 10:30 at night and you go, oh, the night's done and I got to go to bed. It's past my bedtime. Okay, maybe it isn't for normal people. I think bedtime is 8:30 to 9, but that's me. So then you say, oh, like you feel like crap and you go to bed and there's this little bit of, you know what, my dog deserves better and I'm not doing this, because you haven't created a way that, number one, doesn't say, I got to teach some of the things you guys have said, loose leash walking. I've got to work on my start line. I've got to work on my dog's reactivity. So I've got to work on my dog's motivation for doing agility. So you've got all this that just beats you up, instead of saying, okay, here's the big picture. My dog, I want to work on reactivity. If that's what is in the back of your head every day, that's too overwhelming. It's easy to put on Netflix when that is what is facing you. It's too overwhelming. Instead, what I would encourage you to do, and this is, I hope, how we make it easier for our students, is to chunk it down and say, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. I'm going to make a promise to my dog that this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to do this one lesson. Now, this one game is going to help build more focus for me. This one game is going to help build more engagement with me. This one game is a piece to the puzzle to overcome my dog's reactivity. But I'm not working on reactivity. So I think one of the biggest things is you've got to stop beating yourself up. And I think generally, as a generalization, women are worse at this than men. You've got to stop beating yourself up. You've got to say, what can I do? And this is probably the most important thing. So you identify what you're going to do. You take, and it's a tiny, tiny little thing. You take that tiny little thing that can grow into a habit of you becoming consistent. And when you are taking action on a daily basis, that means you have some consistency. Do you know how that's going to happen? Is the moment you follow through and you take your first step and you're done and you acknowledge, okay, my dog is amazing and we just had fun. I need you to do this one thing, which is going to make the difference. I need you to celebrate. Celebrate in any way you can. Personally, I like to put on some music and just do a little bit of a dance. Celebrate. I did it. I followed through. And I don't care if it's something that other people find easy to do. It's something that you're stuck. It's got you stuck. So we need to get you unstuck. Take the big thing, block it into little steps that will overcome that big thing. Make an appointment to make take consistent action throughout the day. It might be once a day. It might be twice a day. It might be as many times as you can block that in. I turn on the coffee machine. I play this game with my dog. That's, if you do nothing more than that, that is creating a pattern of consistency. You are taking a big thing, you're making it into tiny little steps that become tiny little habits that you celebrate every day. That's how you overcome these things. So I want to catch up with this chat because you guys have got a lot of great things going on. Jose says, I am a forever learner, but the amount of learning I have to do in order to help my dogs be their very best. Yeah, that could be overwhelming. And I am a lifelong learner. And I mean, luckily, I have a lot of interests, but the things that I love learning about, that I am constantly buying more books about, maybe it's 4 topics. So it's definitely dog behavior, and it's definitely health and fitness. And the 4th category would be mindset for me. can't think of anything else that I study or read about. So those are the biggies for me. And so you just know that I'm not gonna. I remember talking to Tim Ferriss one time, the author, and I said, and we were texting, and I said, I've got this book. You should. I think you should read. And he said, oh, I'm on a more sabbatical. And I said, you're not reading? I mean, he reads like a book in a blink. And he said, no, 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 no. I just looked around my house and I added up how many books I had. How many books do I read in a year? I don't have enough lifetimes to read all the books. So I'm just not bringing in more until I'm like, oh, how smart are you? That's not my strategy. I just keep buying the books. Okay. Motivation of my dog. She's not a pleaser. She is not a pleaser and refuses if things are too boring or repetitive. And no, or just not praising also takes motivation. Hey, Christina, I had one of those dogs. Her name is this. And now it was so funny. We went in for our last run at the US Open last week. There was somebody that was a student several decades ago that was gate stewarding, and Thissy was barking her fool. This was after 5 days of agility, 5 days of agility. And we ran, I think, 3 runs a day for 5 days. And at the very last run, she is like on her tippy toes, seeing somebody, another dog in the ring's got her stuff. Oh, they're on my tings. They got my tings. They didn't have to be on my tings. And she's barking and, oh, they got my tings. And it just made me smile how much this dog loves agility, second only to visiting new people. And so when she was younger, and it wasn't one thing that made the difference. It was what I said. It was taking that big challenge and doing things that would chip away, and it was just about what brings her joy. And yeah, you don't say no. I mean, I don't think no is a part of dog training anyway, but keeping things easy for her to be successful, super important. But honestly, I 100% understand how sometimes, Christina, it can get very demotivating for you. All of us have challenges, and that's why I asked, like, what is the one thing that gets you stuck? And a dog like Prophet will create way different challenges for me than a dog like this. But I don't think they'd be called challenges if they didn't bring frustration, because the solution is not instant. The solution is not obvious all the time. So I really need to do more podcasts on mindset, Karina, because I do love talking about them, and I love learning about it, and I love discussions about it for sure. Okay, dealing with a physical problem, it definitely does multiply the frustration of being stuck, and it multiplies the challenge of what to do. Overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed with a new puppy, dealing with my 3-year-old pup, not impressed. So absolutely, it is a challenge. So a lot of the problems in why being stuck is a bad thing to begin with. But when you are stuck, what happens is, you can call it any word you want. Give me some other words that people are going to use. They don't realize they're stuck. I've said one a couple of times here. What other words do people use other than like, I'm stuck? So put them in the chat for me, because I want everyone to be able to identify what the symptoms are and what the go-to is and how we can fix that. Okay, so stuck I'm going to help you out because I clearly wasn't asked. Oh, thank you, Michelle. That's the one I was thinking of. People say, oh, lost. Oh, good one, Pamela. Frustrated is what another one that I've been saying a lot today. But they're code words for I either don't have a plan or I don't have confidence in my plan. Oh, that's another good one. So either you don't have a plan or you don't have, I've stagnated. That's another good one. And so what happens when we get to that place, there's a story, analysis paralysis for sure. That's always my go-to advice. Although I'm trying not to, I won't even let them make chocolate chip cookies right now. So when you get to that place where you're stuck, you're stagnated, you're overwhelmed, you're frustrated, we create a story that we tell ourselves. And it has to do with ourselves. I'm not smart enough. I'm not consistent enough. I'm not dedicated enough. Or we maybe tell the story about our situation. I don't have the facilities. I don't have the time in my life. We all have the same number of hours. Or you start telling stories about the dog. It's the breed. Oh, he was the slowest in the litter. I knew I shouldn't have taken this one. This isn't the one the breeder told me to take. So if you can just tell yourself, number one, I know the solution exists. Number two, I believe my dog and I are capable. Number three, I believe my dog and I are worthy. So the solution exists. You are capable of it, and you definitely are worthy of it. So that the story has a different slant. It isn't about an excuse. So what's the old saying? Excuses, your friends don't need them and your foes won't believe them. So you don't need a story. You don't need an excuse. You don't need a backup plan. You don't need to justify why your puppy's litter mate is winning championships in agility and you still haven't finished your seesaw. You don't have to justify that to anyone because everybody is in exactly the place they were meant to be at this moment. And what is the next moment is where you decide you want to be unstuck. Because let's think about the cost of being stuck. So right now, for example, we have our programs on. You see the little ticker tape running along the bottom. It's going to be running along this whole live dogset.com/cyber. It's the last day to join our programs. Some of you will join our programs. Some of you are in our programs. Some of you will tell a story why you won't join the programs. But the truth is, the cost of being stuck is far greater than the investment of following the right plan. So the plan of going to a place that's been gamified for you, that you will take action, being in a community, an online community of people who will raise you up. I mean, I think that's one of the greatest bonuses of being in one of our online programs is the community that you're in there with, of like-minded people who believe, who 100% are behind reinforcement-based dog training and know that the solutions exist. They know that they are worth it, and they know that it is possible. Now, you might not feel that it's 100% true for you right now, but when you get into a community where everybody is doing the same thing, moving in the same direction, it's easier to believe because you see the outcomes that those people are getting. So it doesn't have to do with your situation. It doesn't have to do with your abilities or your intelligence or your dog's breed. It really has to do with the belief that you create for yourself. and the desire to want something different. So I could talk about mindset all day long, but there are questions that I need to answer. So what advice would you give someone feeling totally overwhelmed by training at the moment? Well, Angie, jump onto this live, because you've just got to recognize everybody gets here. And you've got to realize what are your go-to distractions when you're feeling overwhelmed, because that's what sucks you away from what you really should be doing. Taking action, joining one of our programs so that you do have training plans tomorrow when you wake up, you can do that first small step towards your goal. So that's what's so important. So one person's distraction, off ramp away from the things that you want to train your dog, or you want to go to the gym, but the off ramp sucks you away because it's overwhelming to go and train your dog, because the challenge is this big for you. And so the off ramp is easier. The off ramp could be binge watching. The off ramp could be video games. The off ramp could be doom scrolling. The off ramp could be baking a batch of cookies. Just recognize that off ramp is just there as a distraction to take you away from what is possible. If you say, yes, this is what I want, this is where I'm going to go, I'm going to try this. And that's a really cool thing about our programs. You can try them for 2 weeks. Some of them you can try for a month. And then at the end of that introductory period, if you decide, my car's engine just blew up, so I can't follow through with this, we'll give you your money back. You have at least 2 weeks in all of our programs to figure that out, and we'll give you your money back. Is more and more frequent downtime needed for older dogs that are still competing? So I think this question is in relation to the fact that I announced that I'm giving downtime to my dogs. So I don't know. That might be a question for your rehab vet. The amount of downtime and the activities I do with my dog during that downtime is dependent upon what I feel the physical state of my dog is. And for me, I always help get a veterinarian to help me with that decision. So, for example, Kim and Belief, they've done a few trials this year. They're not taking any downtime because they really haven't done much agility at all. They don't, she doesn't practice nearly as much as I do because she isn't here she's only here for half the week. So, I don't know that it's age dependent. It's activity intensity and the dog's self-preservation maybe. So this is Prophet's. Obviously, he's only 2 years old. This is his first downtime. And it's not going to be like let's say Swagger's last downtime, or Feature when she had her last downtime when she was 9. So I'm not saying that the age was long, it made the difference, but the amount she trialed. Prophet hasn't been in many trials. So his downtime, I'm going to start doing end behavior on his dog walk probably after 4 weeks, just doing some end behavior. And then his grids are going to start a week after that. Okay. I'm getting a new Kelpie puppy. This is from Cloren. I'm getting a new puppy, Kelpie puppy. Congratulations. I mean, who can't be excited about getting a Kelpie puppy? Puppies are amazing. Can you advise me on what course I should do with her? I do have a background in training and no crate games and the basics. I just want to fulfill her drive as I won't be working her on sheep. So I would say for sure recallers. If that is something that is within your budget, absolutely the best place to start in any of our programs. From there, you can go to any dog sport and excel. So I think recallers is a phenomenal foundation for agility. We have several recallers that are in a group that do bite sports, and they've said, oh, recallers is the best foundation for bite sports. So Recallers is the foundation that will A, give you a phenomenally well-trained family pet, and B, be the springboard to take you anywhere you want to go in dog sports. Any advice for us inexperienced that want to train our dogs but get frustrated easy when things don't go our way and we don't know what else to do and we end up giving up? Oh, Rosemary, I hope you're here today. So I've seen that scenario play out so many times that people are frustrated, they're inexperienced, and when you're inexperienced, you're frustrated, and when you're frustrated, it's easy to give up. And you don't recognize that, especially in a sport like dog agility. Let me just take you back to when I started in dog agility. 1989 was the first time I ran in dog agility. It was a figure 8. I think you had one change of sides. So the dog could run mostly on your left side, and then you changed to your right side, and that was the end of the course. Today's dog agility is a quadrillion times more complex than it was when I was a novice. And so you have to give yourself grace. Lower the expectations of perfection of yourself and enjoy the flaws that you and your dog both make. Now, I say that, but I'm hoping that you are in Handling 360, because Handling 360 is basically jet fuel for you to do the right thing, to know what that right thing is, to bring out the best in your dog. So Handling 360, we take people who are brand new in the sport. We've actually had people go through Handling 360 who have never seen agility before, but they just want to carry on from recallers, and so they join Handling 360. So if you are in Handling 360, then the thing to do next is always obvious to you. So we take the complexity of the sport, we drill it down into small, achievable successes for you and your dog. And then the next day you log in and you get more small, achievable successes. And that's what brings the layers of success. Okay. If I gift homeschool the dog for Christmas, will the recipient's 4 months start when they enroll after Christmas? Great question, Jamie. So anybody who would like to gift one of our programs to somebody as a Christmas gift, I think the gift of knowledge is always an amazing gift. It won't become active until they log in. So that would be after Christmas if you're giving it to them as a Christmas gift. If you're giving them as an early Christmas gift, so it's not when you pay for it. It's when any of the gifts happen once it becomes active. We have a 9-week-old. Oh my gosh! You know, a friend of mine had a litter of puppies, and when his female was pregnant, I said, you know, if there was the perfect puppy. So I did have in the back of my mind, I'm not getting a puppy, but if the perfect one was there, then maybe there was a puppy for Susan. There wasn't a puppy for Susan, but it got me thinking, oh, I want a puppy. So I see all you people getting puppies and I'm like, come on. Emily says we have a 9-week-old. We're interested in doing recallers, but we're not sure if we should also do homeschool the dog, or is it redundant? They're not redundant. They are slightly different, but I would start with recallers. And the reason I would say join homeschool the dog after is because you could then get Wag Nation, which is perfect that goes with recallers, because it gives you a new fresh dog training lesson every single day or every single month. Not necessarily a game, but it's a concept. Sometimes it's actual training, but you also get a brand new trick every single month. So there's a library in Wag Nation of tricks that you can train your dog, that I think everybody should have access to that. Are there still going to be specials and renewals in March of 2026, similar to this March? Yes, Helene, we absolutely, when you join any of our programs, we take care of you forever. So as long as you want to be a member of our program, we always have an opportunity for you to stay as a member at a ridiculous a ridiculously low investment on your part, because I believe the strength of our programs is in the community, and we have people that have been in recallers, in both our programs, actually, in Handling 360 and in recallers are our oldest programs. We've had people who've been in both of those since they started more than 10 years ago. And I believe that creates a huge knowledge base. It's like if you have a Siberian Husky that you've joined, and you joined, and you're like, oh, I'm trying to teach a recall on a Siberian Husky. Everybody tells me that's not possible. And then you've got like years of students who've been in our program with a Siberian Husky to say, we got your back. Just know it is possible. Yes, you're going to get there. These are the things that you need to focus on. So I love having our community stick around, and that's why we make it possible for people to stay for a long time and keep learning from us, because we keep adding new things to all of our programs. You can rewatch this when it's over. You can come back and rewatch it. Will IC Peeps be open again? We don't have any plans right now, so the people who are in IC Peeps are the only ones that have access to it. I will never say never. I do absolutely, all of you who are my IC Peepers, I do miss our monthly get-togethers. I genuinely do miss that. Have limited mobility. Are there enough games in Homeschool the Dog that don't require me to run, that the class will be of value to me and my dogs? Judith, yes. I 100%. I'm trying to think of all of the games. Here's what I suggest you do. Join Homeschool the Dog. Anytime there's a game that you think would require running, and I can't think right now of the 12 that are in there. I can't think. There's maybe one that if you can't think of how to adapt that, or if the lesson plan, because we always think of that ahead of time, we say, okay, this is another way to do it, then write it in the community chat and we will help you adapt that. Donna says, I just bought Homeschool the Dog this morning. Does it disappear in 4 months, or do I get to keep the lessons? Okay, Donna, all of our programs have these downloadable lesson plans that have the pictures that are so clear. You can download that, and that is yours for life. But also at the end of the 4 months, like, all right, I'm just going to tell you right now, like, we make it so easy. Like, you can stay with us. I think for Homeschool the Dog, for example, I don't like saying this on a live stream, but right now, when you join Homeschool the Dog, you can stay for $10 a month after. Like, and then you don't just get Homeschool the Dog, you get even more stuff. So, like, we want people to keep learning from us. We want the world to learn how to be kind to dogs. We want to help people to recognize training this way is effective. Training this way will bring results. So we want to make it easy for people. Diana asked, which program best covers the transfer value from treats to you? That is such a great question. They all do. We talk about it in all of the programs. I would say Recallers is where we talk the most about it. And Agility Nation for sure. I meant Handling 360. I mean, there's not as much in Agility Nation for sure. So, and Homeschool the Dog, like, I think all of those foundations. So Recallers for sure is the best one because there's more lessons about transfer value. But honestly, Diane, if you join any of our programs and you have a problem with that, then ask just put a question and the coaches will help you. How are the programs with a dog that had arousal or some leash reactivity? Okay, so first of all, Helen, I'm sorry that you're dealing with that. And let me just share that Recallers, as Nesbizin 3779 says, Recallers rocks. Recallers, we've had, I don't want to promise anybody that your dog's reactivity instantly goes away when you join recallers. But we've had so many people, and because I don't want to generalize reactivity, because there's all different forms of reactivity, and some reactivity is far more serious than others. So, but we have had so many students that have gone through the recallers program that said their dog is no longer reactive, or the number of triggers that the dog used to have has minimized, dramatically. So definitely. Oh, where did the rest of my, where do I find the Focus Forward course? That is in both Handling 360 and in Agility Nation, Focus Forward. It's also in WAG Nation. You're testing me on all of our stuff, where all our stuff is. So the story that I would love for you guys to be telling yourself now isn't a story of being stuck, isn't a story of overwhelm. It's a story of progress. It's a story of hope. It's a story of excitement. It's a story of transformation in your dog. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want for all of you. And so what I would like to see is those of you who are stuck, who maybe have never joined one of our programs before, what is holding you back right now? And be completely honest. I'm here to help you. And the only way that we can truly help you is if you're in one of our programs. So what is holding you back? What is keeping you stuck? I'm looking for, just stick with me, because I do have a great overlay that should be able to show you all of the programs. And it maybe is, I can't find it. Oh, no. So all of our programs definitely have coaches. Our coaches are in countries all around the world. So you pretty much will get an answer to your question. We say within 24 hours. It's shocking if it's, more than an hour or two that you have to wait for an answer, because of the coaches that we have on here. Angela says, I'm following recallers with my 2 retrievers and they're loving it. I'm learning so much, and the bond I have with my girls is so much better. I love that, Angela. And what a beautiful picture, your picture. I know, I can't get that. To upload for me, Aaron. When is it safe? When is it safe to start agility training? My dog is 11 months and will be 60 pounds. Donna, joining Handling 360 now is 100% a great idea, because Handling 360 has got 10 classrooms. And, I got to take your question down to show this. Hold on. So the 10 classrooms, essentials you can do with your puppy right now. The compass you can do with your puppy right now. Dynamics you can do with your puppy right now. So each of these classrooms will take you about a month to go through. And so I think it's 5 weeks per classroom. And so by the time you get to cones and cues, which with a 60-pound dog, I probably wouldn't want you wrapping cones dramatically until they're 13 months or so. I do it with my border collies quite young, but I'm very intentional about doing 1 wrap and then doing 2 wraps, but it can be tough on their shoulders. So, but there's so much before, like 1 jump, 1 line is really, your puppy will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, will probably be 17 months old by the time you get to there, or 16 months old. You were ready to go. So definitely. Okay, now I got to get that picture off of there. Go back to your questions. I have a 17-week-old Aussie lab. Your free videos have been amazing. Thank you. I am a bit of price sensitive. Is homeschool the dog enough? And is it good for puppies? Okay. So first of all, homeschool the dog is a phenomenal place to start. And from there, once we are coaching you, you can then say, I think I'm ready for more. And we can help you go to the next level, go to recallers. So please jump in, homeschool a dog, because like this is it for 2025, guys. This is the last chance. And like, because tonight we close, and you can still join. The courses will be on our website, but not, it will cost you in some cases like 4 times the price. For example, homeschool the dog is, I think, an 80% discounted investment right now, as is jaywalking is probably even more than that. Can I really get my older dog to listen better? She's a Chihuahua rescue. I bet she's cute as a button. Yes, there is no limit. I am 64 years old, and I make it a point to learn something on the regular. Dogs don't stop learning because of an age. They stop learning because they insulate themselves from the inactivity that we've given them. If you continue to train your dog and engage them, they will constantly want to learn. So Swagger will be 15 next month, and he gets regular training sessions. I would say close to 5 days a week. And he gets kind of demanding of those training sessions. So absolutely you can. Can the agility stuff be done inside for a while? I'm looking at a foot of snow. Yes. Hello, Lily. Yes. So in our Handling 360 classroom, so I showed you those 10 classrooms, I would say the first 5 classroom, which is 25 weeks, you can do in your house. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. And for some of you who aren't familiar, I'm going to show you this reel. I'm going to show you this little reel. You have to excuse the fact that my editor spelled border collie incorrectly. I'm not quite over it yet, but I want to show you. I want you to see, this was when Waffles was, I think he was 8 months old. And we're doing nail trimming. So we've got all the dogs lined up, and this isn't where we normally do nail trimming, but we did it in this location so people could see when you teach anything as a game, you get buy-in from the dogs. They all want to keep playing. So I'm going to show you this reel. And again, I know Border Collie is spelt wrong. And I mean, I'm not quite living with it, but so Tater Salad, when we adopted him as a 15-month-old, he was like he was dangerous with his head. If you tried to touch his paws, we never went near him with nail trimmers or anything. Like in the first week, we were just seeing like, what is his tolerance for being touched or patted or groomed? He would like fling his head around and just about knock you out with that, trying to get away. If you even like brought a spoon near his nails, there was none of that. Waffles, we adopted him, or Kim adopted him at 15 weeks. He was not buying into getting his paws touched either. Not as dramatic as Tater Salad, because Tater Salad had like almost a year and a half to build up in his first home. So I'm going to just show you. And traditionally, my red border collies have never liked their feet touched. I've always thought, and somebody said that red border collies have more nerve endings. I don't think that's true, because Prophet is a gem. Okay, so I'm going to show you this video. I wanted to show you that video because if we can take something like nail trimming and turn it into a game that the dogs fight to play, then we can take any skill and turn it into a game. And that's what our programs are about. That it can be, dog agility is inherently fun, but you need dog agility is because of the complexity. It's so important that the direction you're getting, because there's so many people teaching dog agility. It's such a popular sport. There's so many people teaching it. You could spend a year going in the wrong direction if you're getting the wrong instruction. That creates more confusion and more frustration with your dog versus working with Max Enya and I, 3 world champions, that will give you clarity because of the success we've had. And yes, we all run border collies. We all started with terriers. The 2 of them still run with Shelties. Excuse me. But we've all trained with our students so many different types of dogs. So it's possible. It's possible to have that kind of relationship where your dog loves to do whatever it is that you're doing. And today, as I said, today's the last day. Our cyber event ends tonight. That's why I wanted to do this live. Recallers is at 35%. After today, it goes back up to our normal price. Homeschool the dog is 83%. Jaywalking is 85% off of the normal, because jaywalking is our brand new program. It's all about loose leash walking. And if you buy recallers, actually you get jaywalking and the pedicure please, how to get the nail trims so the dogs like beg you for a nail cut. Recallers Handling 360 is 35% off of the normal price. And Agility Nation is 50% off. We have a bundle for those of you who love agility and you want to join Handling 360 and Agility Nation. That's ridiculous. It's almost 60%. And like I said, the opportunity to join the programs are going to be there, but why not start right now so that you know tomorrow what your plan is? You know that you have so many coaches that are going to be here to help you succeed, to help you to be there when you feel stuck. Because I think having that community is such an important part of getting unstuck and continuing your progress forward. Okay. Connie said, I joined Homeschool the Dog in 2020 with my girl during COVID. Now I'm in WAG Nation, Recallers, Handling 360, and Agility Nation. Oh, Connie. Currently going through recallers with my young boy Dash, and my young girl Jinx is working through Handling 360. I love the way you break everything into layers of learning. If you're thinking about joining, just do it. That's beautiful. Connie, I didn't realize that you joined us during COVID. What a great story that is. Here's another one. It's possible everyone comments about my first son, how he's so well behaved, and funny thing, I do nothing special. We just play those games. So yeah. And why it's important that the training is in the form of games is because, like I said, you will not take consistent daily action if what people are asking you to do isn't something that you love to do. Who doesn't love to play a game? Who doesn't love to play a game that involves your dog, that you see your dog lit up with excitement for what you're doing? Okay, so go to dogsat.com/cyber to learn more about any of our programs. And yeah, I think we got to do more of these mindset conversations, because I think too many people are not getting to a place where they want to be. Number one, you need a structured program. Number two, you need a mentor you believe in and a system that resonates with the kind of person that you are and the kind of person you want to be. Number three, you need a community. So I think mindset is super important, but I think having a community where you can come out and it's a safe place for you to say, I'm not feeling it today. Somebody, what do you got for me? I used to think recallers seemed like a huge chunk of money for me, but when I added up years of classes with a dog training club, it was easy to see the value. There is nothing, because you can invest in a program that is taking you, as I said, teaching you things that you're going to have to unlearn. And what it's costing you is all that dog's life. It's costing the years in the dog's life. Oh, I forgot we're going to give away a toy. Yeah, Allison, great point. These games just become a way of life for you. They get woven into the fabric of what you do. Kate says, I adopted my dog in 2019, joined recallers shortly after. Best decision I've ever made. There's so many extras in there. It's much more than just a recall. The games make it easy. My dog loves it, and we get tons of compliments on how lovely she is in public. Thank you to the Dogs That team. Thank you, Kate. That's beautiful. Tug toy. We're giving it away. The winner is Lindsay Torres. Torres. Congratulations, Lindy. Have some hearts for Lindsay, everybody. Hearts for Lindsay. Okay, I just want to make sure. People say, oh, I look at the prices of your programs and I have to transfer it into my country's funds because all the prices are in US funds. And you're like, wow, that's so much. And what is the cost of staying stuck? What is the cost of being frustrated, of not engaging with your dog? What is the cost of not doing the things you want to do because your dog is fearful or reactive or over the top? And so the arousal is so high, you can't take them out. You can't take them off leash. What is that? The cost of being stuck is way, way, way more investment than joining us and seeing progress moving forward. I promise you, it's one veterinary trip. If you don't have a great recall, eating food off the counter, how much does that cost you when you have to go to the vet and have a surgery? Or the dog gets in a dog fight, or the dog gets hit by a car. So if you are unsure, go to the website and look at all the programs. And at the bottom, there is an opportunity to chat live with somebody on our team. And so they're there to help you. And so another thing that people will say to me is, well, I want to join your program, but I have to ask my spouse, my parents. Okay, maybe if you're really young, you have to ask your parents. Let's not use that one. I have to ask my coach's advice. So sure, ask if you feel you have to, but don't ask about the price. Ask about the vision. Is the vision of me being able to do the things I want to do with my dog, is that a trade-off? That sounds like a good one. Because I know there is no better investment for your dogs, but that's me and I'm biased. So make that decision, but make it, I just say jump. If you are on the fence, jump and join us, because woohoo! Nesban 3779 just joined. There's a good reason to join. Even if you just said, there's one behavior I want to make progress on, join the program and let us help you get there. You might be thinking, I'm joining for this, but you're going to get all of this. So that now becomes immaterial to you. I have been complimented on how well he behaves at barn hunt and how well he responds to my cues. Many did not think he would succeed at the game. The connection he and I have is there because of these programs. He now has 4 titles and we're still going strong. Lynette, that's beautiful. So good. Okay. Thank you to everybody who joined the live. Please share this, because I think people with dogs being stuck or feeling stuck and going in a direction that isn't towards a better life for their dog, it's worth them listening to this live. I would love for everyone to be in our programs, because I would love for dogs worldwide to be better understood by their owners, and for the owners to have a way to get unstuck and see progress every single day with their dog. So thank you for being here. Thank you for all of our students who've been on this live. It's always good to see familiar names. And I'm hoping we see you all in the programs. We'll see ya.